Alrighty folks, this is Lurch from Ireland Gaming and welcome to the 1000 subscriber special. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you for your continued support. Those likes, comments and your great feedback all contribute to making this channel grow. But rather than waffle on for ages, we're going to get straight into the action. There's a whole bunch to get through in this special. Okay, so we're going to be doing our usual blow up subscriber ships this time, but some people have submitted some pretty monumental ships. They're pretty huge, so I think they deserve a pretty huge gun. Now, I've already designed a shell that I want to use. Very slow, inertial fuse, triple EMP, triple HE with a shape charge, and a 200mm. This goes nicely into a 2 meter shell rack, and I worked out roughly how big I want it to be. That's the back line. Can you guess how big the gun's gonna be? Let's get started. Okay, so there we have a 200mm quad barrel. That's not very big, you might say, but it's time to increase the size a little bit. So I've made it nice and long and nice and narrow. Can you guess what we're going to do now? Now, all that's left to do is configure the barrels and the ammo inputs, and then we can test it properly. So that's our mega cannon, nice and configured, and I put this stylish metal box around it, just to help protect it during combat testing. To whet your appetite on what's going to happen to the per subscriber ships whenever they come along, I'm just going to show this thing blowing up some of the usual suspects. So enjoy the little mini montage. Alrighty, so Ruger, despite the fact that he has been lost in Fallout for the last couple of days, has put together this awesome cannon platform. It is significantly more powerful than the old one. These are his big guns, and they're fully scienced and quite practical to put onto a main ship. They're probably more suitable for a larger ship, but we're going to have a quick look at each of them, and Ruger's going to tell us what goes into them. So I think we start from the bottom here and work our way up, and this is your 250mm mortar, yeah?
Yeah, this is a belt-fed mortar, high rate of fire, spams the crap out of targets. Pretty powerful.
Yeah, I've done a montage for this one already, and it's pretty badass. It's got a nice little recessed turret here. It has a very low profile.
Yeah, it's designed a minimum amount of stuff above deck. Because the barrels are so short, they can hide them in amongst metal as well, so they don't get chopped off. But when it's firing out, it really points its barrel pretty far up. When it's firing, it looks really cool. It's like proper artillery.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, this is like a true mortar, isn't it? It's got like really low velocity shells that fire in a really high arc. It's what is it? A gunpowder inertial fuse 2 high explosive.
Yeah.
Very simple little shell, and it's what 250mm, so it's pretty powerful too.
120. I think that's exactly 1.5 kilometer range. Yeah, so it's like 1501 meters or something like that.
That's pretty close.
So,
close enough.
So yeah, it will fire like massive arcing shots. I think its refire rate is 100 or something like that.
That's pretty good.
Oh, 100.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a lot of death rained down upon your opponent.
So if you look, the back end is surprisingly small considering power that you will see in the montage.
Yeah.
11 barrels.
You can see there's an awful lot of input feeders on this. This is mostly made up of clips, and there's loads of belt feeders in here. I'm just having a look on the inside.
Yeah, well, that's the issue with belt feeders, is you need massive amount of input to keep your DPS high.
Yeah.
So this is the exact amount of shell parts and input feeders and barrels you need. So you see the shell here is double HE and inertial fuse, so shields won't bounce your shells away, they'll explode and just damage stuff on the inside.
Yeah, I noticed whenever I was testing this that it absolutely wrecks shields.
Yeah, anything that's projects its shields further out than like 10 meters or something like that is reasonably okay, but anything less is just gonna die easily.
Yeah, it's very hard to do as well because the shields have a maximum of 5 meters, and that costs an awful lot of power.
Yeah, this is a blast radius of 10 meters. So if your projection is at 10 meters, which is going to cost you a lot of power, then you're safe. But if it's not, you're doomed.
It's just going to mince through your shields.
So yeah, it's feasible for medium to large ships, I would say.
Yeah, I really wanted to put this under my hydrofoil, but I didn't want to show it off before before doing this sub special. Anyway, yeah, that's the 250mm mortar, and it is crazy powerful. So let's move on to the next one. This is a triple firing pin 6-barrel AA gun, and it is frickin' ridiculous. So what the hell is in this thing?
This is the mother of all AA guns, essentially. This is this started out as a modification of the 1-minute minigun. I souped it up.
That's a hell of a modification.
To add one firing piece and the shell. If you go over the shells here, so there's 3 of these things. That's for one for each firing piece. The shell is at 100 millimeters. Is 1.4 kilometers per second, and it has enough kinetic damage to kill a beam in one hit.
Yeah, and way more armor pierce than you need. Wow.
Yeah, it kills a metal beam in one hit, and it's essentially each firing piece is 250 rounds per minute. So
bloody hell, 750 rounds a minute.
Yeah, so that's a lot of beams being killed per second there.
That can just make a hole straight through anything.
So essentially, yeah, this thing will I mean, I've seen this thing kill squirrels at 2 kilometers away and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, that velocity of shot, I mean, 1.4 kilometer, or 1.4 meter per second, or kilometer per second rounds, you're getting there in 1.5 seconds anyway, so...
Yeah, exactly. I was looking for a nice happy medium between barrel length, back end, and speed and size and everything else. So I think I found a nice sweet spot with 100 millimeters. So I could get a 5-block shell to fit into belt feeders to keep this thing fueled.
Oh yeah, of course, it's belt fed, isn't it?
Yeah, well, most of my stuff is belt fed.
That's because they're so awesome.
Belt feeders rock, yeah. Yeah, this thing is ludicrously powerful. It will just drill straight through anything. It'll even go through shields. Like eventually, it will just break straight through shields.
Yeah, I was testing it against some of the larger shielded aircraft, and it doesn't matter. It just there's so many shells coming in, and because they're a tri-barrel, if one knocks the shield out for a second, the other 2 shells go through. So
yeah,
it's really powerful.
And yeah, it's ludicrous, and I've seen it nailing stuff at like 10 kilometers away and everything. It's just
That's crazy.
Like,
Anything slow moving, it can take out at that range for sure.
well, I mean that's still what 8-second bullet travel. So
Yeah, it's a long time.
yeah, but it's far away. Like
That's well, I mean,
pretty crazy.
yeah, just to get it right. I know I have the map clouded here because we're in multiplayer, but where my guy is here, that's 5 kilometers and that is 10 kilometers. So we could nearly shoot the starting town, Aerowick, from our starting location. Just to put that into context.
Yeah, who needs real guns like when you
Yeah,
just got,
screw real guns, like.
you just got like 9 powder and 1 sabot round.
Oh my god, these are silly rounds.
Yeah, so it produces nice block confetti waterfalls out of airships.
Yeah. There's not much in the line of explosions unless it hits ammo barrels, but you'll see in the montage that it just cores things. It's like the apple core of the from the depths.
Yeah, no way I see it from this thing. Yeah, so it's the granddaddy of AA guns. Like this makes the rest of them look like nothing really.
Yeah, it's reasonably feasible as well, isn't it? I mean, there's plenty of recoil dampers on it and stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I think it's about 10,000 recoil per.
Yeah, that's not
per
crazy
piece.
high because if you're going to be putting this on anything, it's going to have to be a big ass battleship. You know?
Yeah, I mean the size of ship you need to put this on. Not gonna get moved around too much per recoil. There's an insane amount of Tetris and gauge sneaking going on there. I don't advise looking at it. It will melt your head. Like.
Yeah, it's just all I can see is a wall of coolers and stuff like that in various different creative places. And oh
Yeah,
my
and there's
god!
not a bit of symmetry in there either, so it'll break your little OCD.
No, I'm not looking anymore. No, out of there. My brain is broken enough. So that is the granddaddy of AA guns. It'll take basically anything out of the sky, anything that moves, anything that flies, anything at all, more or less. But yeah, so yeah, that's a very, very nice AA gun. This monstrosity on the end. Now this is a very special cannon. It is somewhat of a replica.
Yes.
So, would you like to christen it and give it its name and all that?
Yes, this is a sort of from the depths homage to the Yamato cannon.
Woohoo, Yamato!
The Yamato turrets on the Japanese battleship Yamato. So this is as close as I could get the gauge and the barrel length. Now the rest of it's all gamified, but it is 460 millimeters with a 22 meter barrel, same as the real life equivalent, and that's where it ends.
Yeah. Because if we were doing a real life Yamato cannon, it would fire one shell every 3 minutes, isn't it?
90 seconds or something.
Okay, right. So one shell
no,
every
120. Okay.
Okay,
this
2
one
minutes.
fires a shell in 3 seconds.
So this is more or less a Yamato cannon plus.
Yeah. So each one of these firing pieces, I think, is 3 seconds or 3.5 or something like that, seconds per shot. And I've delayed them a little so they don't all shoot at once.
Yeah, it's a nasty cannon.
So this one uses 4 meter loaders, and I think each piece has 10 of them in there, I think.
Well, I'm seeing my head's hurting already just looking
Yeah.
in here. These are normal loaders as well. There's like 4 clips. Is there 3 clips on every loader?
Yeah, there's 3 clips on each loader, and there's 30 loaders in there.
Oh my god.
And there's enough dampeners and stuff to actually make it feasible as well. I think it's actually got less recoil than the Trigat.
Well, it's 21k, but because of the rate of fire, it's technically a lot lower.
Oh yeah. That's not as low as I thought it was. You can see that the back end's sizable, which is
It's
rather
considerable. Those are big shells, though. I mean, you have these big ammo shell part things for a reason, right?
Yeah, I mean all the shell part boxes are the exact number of boxes required, so you don't get dead reloads. Now dead reloads is a really bad thing that you don't want. So what happens generally is all of these input feeders, they all trigger at once, so they all use the same amount of parts to fill up the clips. Now if there's not enough parts, the feeders will still go into their cooldown, but not load a piece, or not load a
because
shell.
there's not enough shell pieces available to actually make all of the shells at once. So whenever you're building these high gauge shells, you want to have enough shell parts that you can reload every single autoloader at once.
Yeah, there's an easy way to figure it out. So you go into your shell, you go into this one here, and I put it to 460. You'll see its ammo parts cost is 55.8. So you just multiply 55.8 by the number of feeders you have, and then that'll get you the amount of boxes you need.
Yeah, so we've got what, 10 on this?
1120 parts required. So that's it's like a.
And you see there it tells you ammo controller has a total available as well, so that makes it a lot easier to actually gauge your total number.
Yeah, I'd actually say from my own experience, this thing, even though it's the biggest, and it probably does less damage than the other two, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I noticed that in testing that these other two here are just savage weapons of absolute destruction. The Yamato does hella pretty explosions, like, oh my god, it records very, very well. You'll see that in the montage, but as far as effectiveness is concerned, more barrels is just better. Flat out better.
I'd almost say the Trigat is nearly on par with damage as the murder boner cannon.
Yeah, I would say so. I would even say it's more effective because it's more accurate at a longer range.
Yeah. Which is another point I would like to raise about composite heads. I remember you said that they break on shields.
Yeah, we discovered that's not the case.
Turns out they do break on shields, but they do not detonate their payload at 100% capacity. It's like severely
It's
damp,
something like 10% or something like that. Really,
probably
really bad.
less. So that no longer can be used as Superman's inertial fuse.
Yeah, if you're going to
Unfortunately.
use it, just use an inertial fuse. If you want something to do that function, don't use composite heads.
That's why you see in the mortar, got an inertial fuse. I went back to the murder boner and switched it over to just 2 flak in the inertial fuse, and the damage output is almost doubled. It's ridiculous now. So yeah.
Nice.
So,
But yeah, that's this is Ruger's Big Guns, or Big Turrets platform, and it will be going up on the workshop for you guys to play with. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Thank you very much, Ruger, for putting this together for us and pre-sciencing all these awesome turrets.
my pleasure.
We will move on with the sub-special and on to more montages and shit. So, have fun with the platform, and see you in the next scene.
Bye bye.
Well, was that enough montage for you guys? Once again, an enormous thanks to all of my viewers for your feedback, for your comments and suggestions, and just hanging around and being part of the community. Thank you for watching the 1000 subscriber special. I hope we continue to grow as we have been, and I'll do my very best to keep improving my content in the future. As always, take it handy and have a bloody good day.